A narrow road branched off the old highway, vanishing into gray haze and winding through thick thickets, past abandoned farms, crumbling wells, and oaks that didn't seem to grow so much as watch. No one had come here in over 20 years. Legend had it that the old Ostalski estate, standing at the edge of the world, was cursed. But legends mean little to those who don't believe in fear. The silhouette of the faded manor emerged from the rainy mist like a memory belonging neither to the past nor the present. Stone walls were overgrown with moss, the windows long since emptied of glass, and the roof had collapsed inward, as though the house had refused to hold its shape. And yet something remained, a silence too deep to be ordinary. Nothing grew in the courtyard except 2 trees, a black pine and a crooked hawthorn, their roots tangled as if in competition to see which would fall first. On the steps lay broken tiles and dead birds, pale as ash, frozen in place as though they had never been alive. Inside, it smelled of mold, wet stone, and dreams that someone had once fallen into and never awakened from. The floors creaked, the walls breathed. To walk there was to hear not silence but presence. Soundless yet undeniable, the house was not empty, it was watching. And the deeper one stepped, the stronger the sense that something in the darkness was familiar. If memory could take form, it would look like these very walls. On the second floor stood a single intact mirror vanity. Its glass reflected neither light nor person, only emptiness. Yet the longer one gazed, the more it began to show something. A shape faint as a thread, a scar running vertically through the mirror, as if someone on the other side had once dragged a fingernail across it. Touching it left a chill on the fingers, not from the surface but from memory. The attic hung thick with the scent of wax, old paper, and bird down. Beneath the collapsed roof stood a cradle rocking despite the still air. Behind it, an old suitcase, packed with letters never addressed. Each contained invisible ink that revealed itself only under dim candlelight. From them flowed fragments of dreams, disconnected in plot but bound by one constant. Someone was searching for a door that could only be seen with eyes closed. In the cellar reached by a spiral metal ladder, it was colder than outside. The stone breathed with a rhythm of its own. In the dark, something rustled like fabric sliding across concrete. But whenever eyes sought the source, nothing was there. Only wet walls, old jars, corked bottles, and a clock without hands. That clock ticked. It had no means to do so, yet it did. Each tick resounded like a heartbeat, a countdown in reverse. In the farthest room of the basement was a niche, and in it a wooden frame without a canvas. Just an empty rectangle, yet not empty. Stare too long, and it began to reflect something, not light, not faces, but another place. A stone plateau with a black obelisk beneath a crimson sky, where trees had human faces and their eyes opened whenever you blinked. Like a painting waiting to be finished. With each passing day in the house, dreams grew longer, darker. At first, fragments, footsteps on singing sand or a whisper in water. Then images, faces impossible to recall while awake, yet instantly familiar in dreams. And each night in the same place, a door appeared black old with a glass knob that pulsed. And each night it stood just a little closer. Eventually everything began to shift. The clocks in the house ran backward, water in the bottles didn't evaporate with time but with sleep, and even the air carried a scent known since childhood, but nameless. Then came the fingerprints in dust on glass on walls, small like a child's. And one day, large, irregular, long, as if something had stood beside the bed. Waking up grew harder. The boundary between day and night dissolved. Dreams did not end. Their edges bled into waking life. Sometimes they continued with eyes open. In the mirror of the vanity, not just outlines but scenes appeared. A room like the one around, but lit differently with a different arrangement of objects, and someone standing in the middle, motionless, waiting. In an old journal found behind a beam in the attic, there was only one entry, repeated many times. The house won't let you leave it incomplete. All who enter must carry the image beyond the threshold. And at the end, a diagram. The outline of the door, the suitcase, the mirror, and the clock. A closed path. The last night was too quiet. No sound but the pulsing light from the canvas's other side. In the dream, everything was clear. The door was no longer locked. It was waiting. And beyond it was not darkness, not death, but something else, something that needed to be seen. Not feared, not believed in, simply seen. When the picture in the niche pulsed and a shadow crossed the threshold, no object in the house remained in its place. The house had changed. Empty yet full, complete. And above all, the faint ticking of the clock, which had regained its hands but now pointed to infinity, marking no hour, no direction. On the once broken front door now hung a brass plaque, repository of the image. And the trees in the yard no longer contended. They stood, growing into the walls like guardians. And from inside, if one listened closely, there was only one sound: breathing. The breath of a house that had finally fallen asleep, but had not forgotten.